Gooning. Gooning this. Gooning that. Gooning here. Gooning there. You see a pretty guy that you like? Gooner. See a pretty girl that you like? Gooner. It's like the modern version of if you don't know something, you're a boomer, but if you're doing something completely natural, like finding something attractive, you're a gooner, and somehow that's supposed to make people feel insulted or something. Like, look at all those pretty flowers. Oh my God, it makes me feel so happy inside that I'm seeing something so aesthetically pleasing to my eyes that are specifically designed to find things attractive, that are colorful and nice and make me want to touch them or look at them. Wow, something must be wrong with me because my body is operating the way it should. It's as if the people finding issue with this are aliens or something. And most of where you've seen that stupid discourse come into play in reference to gooning is usually in gaming.
You know, goon used to be a noun. It used to be how some dudes would refer to their friend groups, like me and the goons just hanging out. Now it's been permanently tainted, poor choice of words, by the insatiable lust of the internet. Goon is now a verb. You are no longer a goon, you now goon as an action. And as a person, you are a gooner.
Every time a game features attractive character models, people accuse players of being interested in it for gooning purposes, as if finding a character design appealing somehow invalidates the rest of the game.
Stop gooning. Oh my God. Are you a gooner? Seriously? Are you gooning again? Literally all you do all day is goon. You're obsessed with me. All you do is repost gooner pages. You repost me. All you do is goon.
It's the same tired argument we've seen so many times before. Any game that lets players create or appreciate sexy characters is immediately dismissed as shallow or immature, or you're catering to the gooners or the male gaze. Gooning now seems to be associated with ugly people that aren't happy that they're not getting attention. But is gooning really wrong? Take Mecha Break, for example. The game is gaining attention not just for its mechs, but also apparently for its character creation system. You can see some clips of that in Slager's video, and it actually allows players to make very attractive characters. Like, look at this. This should be bottom line, by the way. This should be the lowest common basis for games with character creation. And as you can see here from his video, apparently you being able to make your character fully customizable is a problem. I like it personally because I like jiggle physics. I like that. I mean, it's customizable, so you have the option to do with what you will with your character. You would think this isn't a bad thing, right? Because that's mostly what people had an issue with. They're saying, well, if you're doing character creation, it's just the character creation, so it shouldn't matter, right? But some people take issue with it.
The first thing Tyler likes to do when he wakes up is immediately goon. After Tyler goons, he goes to freshen himself up. He likes to wipe off his sperm from his stomach from the last gooning session and use it as toothpaste.
So a Twitter post I came across claims that Mecha Break is relying too much on aesthetics, with critics arguing that its hypersexualized designs detract from the game's creativity and depth. As this post says, the discourse around it reflects a broader culture war in gaming, where enjoyment is often politicized. Positive previews exist, but concerns linger about the trend of monetized live service games over meaningful single-player experiences. And then they link to the article by The Gamer, interesting name, and its title says, Mecha Break's character models aren't a victory because nobody cares, which is hilarious considering they clearly care enough to write a whole article about it. And in this article, they complain that while some players are discussing the mechs and upgrades, others are focused on the character models, and they acknowledge that people are excited about the ability to make attractive female characters, but brush it off with this weird passive-aggressive kind of dismissal. And it's kind of funny that they're concentrating on this while they also acknowledge that people are talking about other things. It's just one faction of what people are talking about, but they're focusing on this. But in this part of the article, it says, these custom characters are pretty. Oh, you acknowledge they're pretty. Okay. Hyper stylized and have jiggle physics for days with sliders in all the right places. You can make hot women. This may make a few people angry somewhere, but it is bizarre that this is taken as a win against people like me who just don't care. The contradiction here is freaking insane. If nobody cares, or if you specifically don't care, why is this even a discussion for you? Why is it a discussion, period? Why is it always framed as bad or a bad thing when players enjoy good character customization? The fact that you're even saying this means that you do care and you are making it an issue by claiming also it's not an issue for you. The article writer is being so dishonest when they say, oh, it's bizarre, it's just taking a win against people like me who just don't care. You're acting like, or they're trying to distance the personal address, but they're acting like their indifference is this universal stance, when in reality they're ignoring the fact that plenty of people do care. It's not just people somewhere. It's a decent amount of them. That's exactly why gamers who like attractive characters see this as a win in the first place. Duh. Because there are people out there who genuinely have a problem with characters being too pretty, and you're clearly one of them, Stacy, right? Because if Stacy here truly didn't care, she, whoever, wouldn't be writing a whole article about it, like I said, and trying to frame the excitement around the whole character customization as some kind of overreaction by people who are saying they like it and are only part of the discourse among the people saying they like the game for other things as well. The article then claims that enjoying the game out of spite is not enjoying it at all. But who said that it's out of spite? If people are genuinely happy that a game allows them to create sexy characters, especially when so many modern games restrict that, it's not some grand political statement. It's just people liking what they like. And I know doing something that you're probably not used to, which is being excited over something that you find positive. The writer's trying to make it look as though she's above all this and that it doesn't bother her or he, it, whatever. They, let's just say that. But they still take the time to criticize the game's cartoonish proportions and claim that Mecha Break is reductive because it allows players to make hot characters. So it just feels as though you're doing the snobby girl thing, which is to say, I don't care. His girlfriend's, yeah, she's prettier than me, but you know, she's a slut, right? You didn't know that, right? It's not like I care. I don't know why he's trying to make me jealous and make me look like an idiot. I don't even care though. But then she keeps talking about that stuff over and over again with all her friends, even though she claims to not care when she clearly does care because everybody else has moved on from the topic or is talking about everything else but that, and she's still hung up on that one very thing that she keeps saying repeatedly that she doesn't care about. Weird. But the real question that I keep asking is, since when does sexiness make a game less creative? Since when does the ability to design an attractive character mean the gameplay is automatically bad? Because that's what it seems as though the person who wrote the article is implying. People argue that games should have artistic freedom until that freedom is used in a way that they personally don't like. The real issue isn't really Mecha Break the game. It's the ongoing culture war in gaming where anything deemed too sexy is treated as a problem, while games with bland, lifeless character designs and ugly designs get a free pass as long as they're respectable enough. And I'm sorry, but people are acting like gooning is some new epidemic in gaming, but the reality is characters have always been attractive, at least for the longest time until very recently. And what about Love in Deep Space? Why don't these people have the same exact energy for that game? Love in Deep Space, which I have played and is still ongoing for me, can be seen as a game wrapped in gooner bait by these people's logic. And I hate the freaking word gooner, man. It's like the word grifter. It just sounds like a bunch of religious zealots trying to shame people for enjoying things. So for all the dating sims out there and for all the sexy games like Love in Deep Space that cater mostly to women, even though I know some men have an issue with this, why do people care? Men or women have an issue with this. Why do you care so much? We have a whole sect of people on the internet, specifically women, who are going on about how hot Silas is because he is very freaking hot. Like, when they tried to freaking max out everything they could with this character.
Stay on your toes. Such arrogance.
Bro, I hate this. I hate that my freaking face gets hot every time I freaking watch these freaking videos, man. Seriously? What is wrong with me? Anyway, freaking forgot what I was gonna say. What was I gonna say? Shit. Like, to be fair, he is the main reason I downloaded the freaking game, and I was actually shocked to find out that there was like legitimate gameplay that like came with the game. Was in the game. Part of the game. Is it the greatest game, even in terms of gameplay mechanics and storyline? Definitely not. But yes, the eye candy is 80% of the game, or rather, I'd say 90%. And I think people, especially dudes, that make a big deal about this and call it a gooner game are just as freaking cringe as the women making a big deal about Mecha Break or games like it claiming those are gooner bait. Then there's this little thread here where this person continues by making the point that men get called gooners over games with attractive women, but women don't like being called gooners when they're playing a game like this with attractive men. To which this person at the bottom replies, yeah, but the thing is, if you actually play the game, many of the spicy scenes are heavily implied. There's no NSFW. The cutscenes rely heavily on imagination. Also, a lot of men are calling it a gooner game because of a period tracker. How the hell is a tracker sexual? First of all, the thing you said here about the scenes being spicy and heavily implied, and there's no NSFW or not safe for work, that's the same thing as the freaking male games that have the jiggle physics and sexy women. Nothing is actually happening. They're just dressed a certain way or have a certain body type. So let's not be hypocrites. The thing is, even if you want to say that it is, so what? Even if, by their logic, that's what the game is. What is the actual problem? It's like these people just came into existence yesterday or something. Is this their first time on the internet? Is this their first time seeing video games? Did they not realize this stuff was happening 10 or 15 years ago or more? Wait till they find out what games were like in our parents' or grandparents' times. They're gonna shit their pants. Oh my god, a character is running around and certain parts that jiggle in real life are jiggling in the game too. This is too much sensuality. Where's my cross so I can kiss it and flog myself for my sins, just for acknowledging that this is attractive or that human beings naturally find it attractive? For all the freaking games out there, especially from the West, that don't do this and that these people are claiming are fine, why are they making an issue of the few games catering to players who do want this? What's your problem? This isn't some shocking new trend. It's just how character design has worked forever. Look at any era of gaming and you'll see the developers have always made characters appealing or cutesy or pleasing to the eye, whether it's for style or fantasy or just for enjoyment. And also, as coming from another artist, I like drawing things that are attractive. I'm not gonna draw something that's freaking ugly unless I'm angry and I'm making some kind of gothic freaking eldritch monster and I'm making it as haunting as possible. And I've drawn some really disturbing things. But even in that, as disturbing as they are and unsettling as they are, to the point where my parents became kind of concerned with some of the stuff I was drawing as an outlet, there was a beauty in it. There was a rawness in it. But normally, when I'm drawing my original characters, I usually like to make them look cute. I'm just going to showcase some of my art in place of footage so you guys can see some of my stuff, or rather doodles of random shit that I drew. But I drew all of these things because I wanted to, and not because I was concerned about how it was going to offend people. So yeah, people are acting like this is some kind of new thing when they've always been making beautiful characters or things to attract people to playing their games. The only difference now is that certain people want to shame others for liking it. They act like being attracted to a character somehow means you're not engaging with the rest of the game, as if appreciating a character that's very pretty or a character model that's well designed automatically makes you some mindless gooner who doesn't care about gameplay. But honestly, that logic is so freaking ridiculous. Nobody argues that enjoying a beautifully designed world means that you're ignoring the story. Nobody says that liking good sound design means you're neglecting the mechanics. So why is it suddenly an issue when people enjoy attractive character models? The truth is, it's not about gooning or people being obsessed with sexy characters. It's about control. That's all it really boils down to. There's this weird push to make sure nobody enjoys anything too much unless it fits into some arbitrary standard of acceptable art, or it doesn't make the people who are finding issue with it feel uncomfortable. But people have always been drawn to beauty, and gaming has always reflected that. I know for the people who are probably upset about it, they probably have never seen beautiful things, or they're always surrounded by negative and ugly things, but that's not everybody else's fault. If someone's mad that people like making hot characters, then that's their problem. That's not everybody else's. Someone wants to call me a gooner for liking something that my instinct tells me to like, something that aligns with how my species is designed to operate, by finding things attractive and pretty, and for having no issue with people finding me attractive. My response and everybody else's response should be, thank you. Thank you so very much for acknowledging that water is fucking wet. Now can we all freaking move on with our lives and not be silenced for reviewing how much we enjoy the character creation jiggle physics, because it makes us salivate and it is nice to look at, plus the game might be enjoyable to play. People are strange. Anyway, do you guys find gooning to be problematic?
And it is basically just a fancy term for a musty-ass room where they just sit there and watch that content all day. And I don't know how people could live in such filth.
Is it bad when we celebrate that characters are attractive in a video game? Just asking it is making me laugh because it's so ridiculous.
Gooning is described as the act of a very addicted or chronic getting so into or that the dude becomes stupid on his own, can think of nothing else but